Commander Elara Vance leaned against the viewport of Luna Command, watching the curve of Earth glow beneath the scattered scars of old wars. Cities still burned bright, but their orbits were littered with wreckage, silent testimony of the alien sieges that had nearly broken humanity a generation ago. Nearly, but not quite. She was a strategist, not a hero. At least that's what she told herself whenever her superiors called her reckless. Her unconventional tactics had saved lives before, but they'd also painted a target on her back. The brass trusted her calculations. They didn't trust her instincts. The broadcast began without warning. Holograms of the Xyrran Dominion's Admiral shimmered into every channel, her scaled face twisted in amusement. "Earth," she declared, laughter curling through her voice. "Surrender your world or burn in the shadow of my fleet." Elara's jaw tightened. They were laughing now. They wouldn't be laughing long. The Xyrran fleet arrived like a storm at the edge of the solar system, eclipsing the stars. Sleek warships unfolded their wings of plasma and light, each one larger than Earth's most formidable carriers. Their sheer number blotted out orbital sensors, a wall of firepower drifting steadily toward the blue-green planet below. Admiral Krathesh's image flooded the networks again, her laughter rolling like thunder across the globe. "Pitiful humans, I bring you a mercy your ancestors never deserved. Kneel and I may spare your planet's bones." In Luna Command's war room, silence hung thick. Some council members whispered of surrender. Others clenched their fists but offered no alternatives. Earth's defenses were patchwork. Salvage tech, repurposed mining stations, crews too small and too green. Elara rose. "We don't need to match their strength," she said, her voice cutting through the despair. "We need to exploit their arrogance." All eyes turned to her. She outlined a desperate gambit, using the old orbital mining lasers and half-finished wormhole stabilizers not as weapons, but as a trap. If the Xyrrans were reckless enough to press close, they could be pulled into a rift of their own making. The chamber erupted in arguments, too risky, too untested, too suicidal. But Elara stood her ground. "They already think us broken. That is our advantage. Let them laugh because when they do, they won't see what's coming." From orbit, Krathesh's laughter still echoed. Elara's hands curled into fists. Not for long, she thought. The first salvo lit the heavens. Xyrran plasma lances carved through Earth's orbital grid, shredding satellites and defense buoys as though they were paper lanterns. Wreckage rained across the upper atmosphere, glowing trails like falling stars that no one wished on. In the chaos, Elara's orders rang out. "Pull back, scatter, make it look like fear." Human frigates disengaged, engines flaring as they broke formation and drifted toward the planet's gravity well. To the Xyrrans, it looked like panic. To Elara, it was bait. Lieutenant Darius Chen's voice crackled through the comms. "Commander, this isn't retreat, it's suicide. They'll chase us straight to Earth." "That's the point," Elara replied. "Stay the course." Meanwhile, deep beneath the lunar surface, Dr. Amina Okoye worked furiously with her engineering team, coaxing unstable wormhole stabilizers into readiness. She knew the math barely held together, that a single misalignment could collapse half the array and take them all with it. But she also knew the only chance lay in trusting Elara's madness. On the fleet channel, Krathesh's laughter returned, louder, sharper, cutting through the static of battle. "Cowards," she hissed. "Run, and I will still burn your nests from orbit." Her ship surged forward, hunting the retreating humans with predatory grace. Every explosion against Earth's defenses tightened the noose. Every jeer drove morale lower. Elara stood at the command dais, face set, watching the Admiral take the bait. Closer, she thought. Just a little closer. The trap was ready. Lunar mining lasers flared in deliberate bursts, striking at the Xyrran vanguard. The beams did little more than scorch hull plating, but that wasn't the point. Krathesh barked her orders, driving her fleet deeper into Earth's orbit, convinced the humans were clawing with their last pitiful weapons. "Phase 2, Elara said softly. Her hands trembled as she keyed the command. Beneath the lunar crust, Dr. Okoye's stabilizers roared awake. Space around the fleet twisted, at first subtle, then violently. Sensors screamed as gravitational eddies clawed at the Xyrran formation. On alien comms, confusion crackled. Gravity anomaly detected. Engines failing. It's a trap, Kraythish snarled. Forward. Burn them from the sky. Her flagship hurled volleys toward Luna Command, each strike shaking Elara's bones. The rift widened, an impossible wound in space-time. Xyrran cruisers, momentum unchecked, were pulled into its maw. Hulls stretched, twisted, and vanished with screams cut short. Entire squadrons disappeared in flashes of fire. Commander! Chen shouted. If we don't shut it down, the rift will take Luna with them. Elara's eyes locked on the flagship, still pushing forward, still laughing, though her voice now carried a manic edge. She won't stop, not unless we make her. Her voice hardened. Order the Vigilant to ram the array. There was no hesitation from the last defense ship. Engines flared bright as the frigate plunged into the stabilizer hub. The explosion overloaded the rift, collapsing it into a tidal wave of energy. Kraythish's final broadcast broke across every channel, a scream swallowed by fire. Then her flagship disintegrated, vanishing in the blinding surge. Silence fell. The fleet was gone. Only wreckage and ruin remained. When the fire faded, the sky was quiet. For the first time in hours, Earth's orbit held no enemy. Only drifting shards of Xyrran warships and the broken husks of humanity's own defenders remained. Inside Luna Command, silence reigned before a cheer broke, ragged and disbelieving. Against every prediction, against every probability, Earth still lived. Yet Elara did not celebrate. She gazed at the smoldering void where the stabilizer array had been, at the absence of the Vigilant and its crew. Thousands were gone. Cities below bore fresh scars from orbital strikes. Victory had been bought in blood and sacrifice. Chen stood beside her, whispering, "We actually did it." Elara's jaw tightened. "We survived." That's not the same thing. But she knew what it meant. Humanity had been tested by an empire that thought them weak, and the galaxy had just witnessed the answer. Far from Earth, the galaxy trembled. Alien councils replayed the battle feeds in disbelief. A backwater species had destroyed a Dominion fleet. Some called for war. Others whispered of alliance. Humanity was no longer prey. They were a variable none had accounted for. In Luna Command, Elara received a secure transmission. The message was fragmented, garbled, but unmistakable. Fragments of the Xyrran fleet had not been destroyed. They had been displaced somewhere unknown. She closed her eyes, steadying her breath. The war was not over. It had only begun. They laughed at Earth once. They won't again.